Boundaries are basically you drawing the line of what's okay and what's not okay. I want you to think about boundaries as not just you drawing the line and what's okay and what's not okay, but I want you to think about boundaries as a protective shield. Boundaries are you protecting your personal, physical, mental, emotional, sexual, spiritual, and energetic space. Boundaries define where one person ends and another begins. When we don't have boundaries in relationships, that's when we get all murky, we get all mergy, and we mistake it for love. We mistake it for loyalty. We mistake it for all of these things when really it's a boundary issue. Setting boundaries is an act of self-love, respect, and compassion for others. It's also clear communication and how you step into leadership. So many of us make the mistake and think that we're going to climb to the top by having no boundaries and being always available. That's actually how you burn out and get passed up for promotions. Anybody that you see that really start to practice boundaries in a major way, like the bosses, they are very clear. They know exactly where one person ends and the other begins. And this is what leaders do. Leaders are able to define that. Leaders are protective of their space. Leaders are not afraid to state what's okay, what's theirs, what's mine, and so forth. A rule is something you enforce on someone else. While rules are often necessary to create order and expectations, we also at the same time want to be mindful of projecting arbitrary rules on others without understanding your needs and taking radical responsibility first. Here's an example. You can't call me after 10 is a rule. That's a rule that you're placing on someone else. Here's the difference. A boundary is something that you place around yourself. So a rule you enforce on someone else, a boundary you place around yourself. A boundary is something that you place around yourself, and they are created and communicated from a place of doing your work. A lot of times we just place rules on people and we think we're setting boundaries. Oh, look at me, I'm so good, I'm setting boundaries. Like, no, you're actually being a dick and you're just placing in arbitrary rules. You're actually not even listening to your needs. You just made that up. This is different from honoring and listening to your needs. A rule might be you can't call me after 10 p.m., where a boundary speaks on your needs and it says, I need ample rest before the morning, so I will not be available after 10 p.m. This comes from a place that is mindful. This comes from a place that is conscious. This comes from a place that is authentic. I know what I need. I need ample rest before the morning. I've got a 6 o'clock wake up time. You don't have to explain yourself. You don't have to go into detail. You don't need to be like, oh, because of this and because of that. You don't need to do any of that. However, you can be very clear about what you need and why you won't be available. So this is you protecting yourself. Why is it so hard for us to set boundaries in the moment in the first place? First of all, our old programming, our habits and trauma responses, they die hard. So it's not your fault. Because we have all these old habits, because we have this old programming and trauma responses, right? We'll get scared, we'll get angry, we lash out, we want to people please, and then we freeze, and then we dissociate or we shut down. It's also hard for you to set boundaries in the moment because all your fears come up. Oh, I don't want to piss them off. I'm afraid of getting rejected. I don't want to anger anyone. I don't want to be disliked. What if I get passed up for a promotion if I don't break my back over this? What if I get in trouble if I don't do this? What if I get in trouble if I actually say no? These are things that come up for us. But you also have to understand that that's also coming from a place of low self-worth. It's also coming from a place of low self-knowledge, low self-trust, low self-confidence. All of that contributes to our difficulties around setting boundaries in the moment. Your ability to set boundaries in the moment will refine and improve over time and practice. Doing the inner work to heal your past, understand your triggers, know your needs, and feel your feelings will expedite this process. Let yourself be awkward. Let yourself be uncomfortable and nervous because it's going to take repetition. Let's go through a couple basics. First things first. How to set boundaries in the moment, literally pause and create space between you and the other. Take a breath, slow everything down. Wait. You don't have to give a response right away. And you literally just say, can you give me a second? That's all you have to do. And then from there, you can respond or set the boundary. Second, listen to your body, feelings and energy. Notice if you feel anxious, scared, or triggered. Notice if you feel overly excited, impulsive, or eager. If you feel any of either extremes, pump the brakes. And then say, can you give me a second? Respond or set the boundary. Slowing down, creating space, and asking for a pause is the way to set a boundary in the moment. In the moment, you are caught off guard. You get flooded with emotions, you're reactive, and you will default into trauma responses or impulsive decisions. It is literally and almost nearly impossible to know exactly what you need in the moment, especially when you are new to understanding your feelings, needs, and boundaries. Now, the longer you do the work and the more you heal and the more your nervous system comes down and the more you become aware, it will become easier. But when your nervous system is still on high alert, it's going to be nearly impossible for you to understand. So I will say that again, asking for a moment, space, or opportunity to circle back is the boundary. So let me give you some scripts real fast on how to set boundaries in the moment. Here's what it actually sounds like. So simple. Can I circle back to you? I need a minute to think about this. I'm a little overwhelmed at the moment. Can I get back to you in an hour? I'm not sure what I need right now. Can I get back to you? I'm in the middle of something right now. I will respond at fill in the blank. I have to check my calendar and see what I'm already committed to. Or you literally say exactly when you'll get back. I have to jump into an appointment at blank time. I will circle back, or I will respond in an hour. I will be back at 2:30. I can get back to this tomorrow. The more specific you are, the more people are going to respect your boundaries. When you are not clear, when you are vague, people will keep pushing on them because you're not being clear. So it's on us to take ownership and take radical responsibility. And this is why I said earlier, when you do your own work and you know your feelings and needs and you know yourself, it is much easier for you to set the boundary because you can be crystal clear and specific about exactly what it is that you want.